Some people in life you just can't please. That's what the title of this video is this morning. Because some people don't want to acknowledge when they're in a relationship, sometimes people do things that are wrong. And if they have controlling issues and they're prideful, they will not accept the truth about things when it comes to things that are said about them. Because they will say they are a lie. Because they just don't want to acknowledge the things that, or take stock of the things that they've done wrong towards the person or individual or persons during the course of that relationship. You know, there's things I admit I've done wrong, and I did say I was sorry about those, and I did acknowledge them. The problem is the person who I'm talking about has a problem with acknowledging the things that she's done wrong during the course of the relationship. So that's why she wants to say it's a lie, and why she wants to close the chapter, because she doesn't want to admit and tell the truth about the things she did to me. You know, and I'm going to say what those things are, because this person knows what they are, and she knows she did it, and she just needs to admit to it instead of saying I'm telling lies about it and it ain't true, and acting like it's a closed chapter because she doesn't want to deal with it because she's too prideful and too controlling and too ignorant to realize the fact and take stock of what she has done. And see, I can do it, but she hasn't. She just wants to come up with excuses and nitpick. And we're not here to nitpick. The thing is that I love you, and I have forgiven you. I have, and I will forgive you for everything you've done. It means I won't bring it up or keep a record of what you've done, like I feel like you're doing to me. But the thing is, if we're going to get back together, we need to think about restoring, renewing, and coming back together as a family does. That's what we do, because that's what we should be focusing on, not focusing on who said what, or what base you're on, or you know, somebody said what, or whatever. We shouldn't be thinking about all that stupid stuff, because that's garbage. If you keep playing in trash, then you'll never get out of it. So that's why it's so important to focus on healing, reforming, and restoring. That's what God says. You know, once the sin has been brought to light, or the issues have been brought to light, you admit to them, and you start working on recovery. You don't start nitpicking and finding out other things, because you don't want to admit to or take responsible for the things you have done in that relationship, too, during the course of it. Because there's things you have done definitely that were wrong to me, and they're not lies like you tell everybody, you know, like you're saying in your mind. And why you want to close the chapter, because you don't want to avoid, you don't want to take responsibility of the things you have done. And that's really what it boils down to right here. So you think about that, because I love you. I've forgiven you. Now, have you really forgiven me? I hear it in your words, but I don't see it in your actions. And that's why I say that. Understand it, get it, process it, pray about it. And I think you'll understand better that there are things you did wrong to me as well, that you need to acknowledge and admit to. So you think about it, because that's really what it's about. Because it's not about who did what to what. You know, it's about helping and restoring each other so we can be back together like we're supposed to be. And stop listening to all those voices that you're hearing from other people that really don't matter or have anything to do with our relationship. And start listening to the voice of reason and the voice of God, and listen to what God is saying ultimately, and do the right thing like Christians should do. Get rid of that humility. I mean, get rid of that, you know, pridefulness you have. Get rid of that arrogant attitude you have, where you have to judge everybody on everybody else's flaws, like you seem to do in a pattern, like I always notice when you do things like this to other people, like you're doing to me. Don't come up with excuses for your reasoning to justify what you have done, but really look at the facts and really take them to God and ask for forgiveness for what you have done in the relationship, so we can repair this thing, so we can be back together, instead of trying to be like wanting to close a chapter that really shouldn't have to be closed, because you don't want to admit to the things you're guilty of, too, in the relationship. Because I love you. I don't want to be playing games. I don't like the excuses you're making. I think it's pitiful. I think it's prideful. And I think it's very unexcusable. It's a shame that you can't be a grown woman and act like an adult and take responsibility in the things you've done. Now, I've admitted what I've done. You need to admit what you're doing. That's why you say I lie about you. But I have not lied about you at all. You just don't want to tell the truth on the things you've done. And that's what it really boils down to. So, take it for what it's worth. It's Michael DeSilvis. Don't worry about those people you can't please, because you're not out here to please them. You're out here to do the work of the Lord. If they want to accept you and love you, they will. If they don't, then you don't need them. Have a nice day. Take care. Bye. Shalom. New Under Church of Christ. Evangelist Michael DeSilvis.